Guys, when you do any technique with the front hand, such as a jab, upper block, lower block, anything that has to do with this hand, I think you've been taught to face your hip to the side, just like this. I'm sure this is a common teaching throughout any kind of karate style. However, have you ever felt strong by doing this? When I tried this for the first time, I felt myself being a little bit unstable. The thing is, I couldn't feel the same amount of power anymore with the hip turned to the side. And I had this feeling for the first few years until I realized this one fact. The thing is, we don't want to turn the hip to the side. We want to snap the front part of the hip out. As a result, the hip turns to the side. This is a huge difference. So, the topic for this chapter is going to be front hip usage. Here's the outline, just like usual. Why is this effective? How do you activate this part? The application for Kihon, application for kata, and application for kumite. Now, let me start off by saying why this movement is effective. Let me start off by explaining where I'm talking about. So, let's say you are standing in a front stance like this. Left leg forward, right leg back. Last month's chapter was talking about back hip, right? This side of the hip, right? The hip of the back leg. This time, we're going to be talking about the front side. This one, simple enough, right? The movement that this does is simple. This is a hip joint, so what it does is it goes straight and it bends in. That's it. Straight, bends in. Of course, there are different angles at which it bends into, but simply speaking, bend, straight. Bend, straight. That's it. The thing is, guys, when you cannot move the front hip, what ends up happening is, let me face this side for you. Let's say you want to do a gedanbarai, low block. You're going to be ending up doing this, only relying on your arm strength, not on the hip strength or this chest movement like we covered, the chest isolation chapter. It's going to be a little bit hard to do it if you cannot use the front hip. A common mistake that people make is, like I mentioned in my last video, turning your hip, right? What do I mean by turning the hip? I'd like you to put your hand, okay, go into your front stance and put your hand on both sides of the hip, left and the right, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take so the left leg is forward, so the left hip, you're going to turn that in this way, and you're going to draw that right hip back. This is you basically turning the hip. The two sides move, okay? And they move at around this angle. It's in a circular route, like this. When you do this, what's bad is that although you want to block this way, this is important, although you want to block this way, the hip is going to go this way, so the movements are going to contradict. Let me face the side. Your arm is trying to go this way, but if you turn the hip, your hip is going to go the other way. This is going to fight against the power, and we don't want this mismatch to happen. Then how do you match it, right? That's where the front hip usage comes in. You want to snap the front hip out. In a little bit more detail, as a metaphor, you want to picture you have a bow and arrow, like we did on the back hip usage. You want to pull onto that front hip, and then from here, we want to snap it straight out, like this, instead of turning everything back, like this. This we don't want to do. Let me show it to you from the side. If you turn, it's going to become like this. If you snap it forward, it looks like this. Okay, big difference. Let me show it to you from the front too. If you turn, the knee is going to come in, okay, like this. This we don't want to do. What we want to do instead is pull back, straight back, and snap forward. This way, my hip is thrusted to the front, this way. My hands are going this way too, so the momentum is matching. This is the beauty of using the front hip correctly. This is going to revolutionize your blocks with the front hand, punches too. We don't want to do this, you know? But I'm sure your front knee maybe some of you are coming in. But you want this too, straight back, and then snap out. Straight back, okay? And then snap out. This is what we need to do. Now, let me teach you some, stretches so that you feel comfortable moving this part. and it's actually the same as the chapter before. So please watch this one. We're going to be doing 4 different types of stretches. First one, I'd like you to stretch your calves. If this is hindering, it's going to be a little bit hard to use the hip, back hip. So get your back leg straight, okay? If you have a wall, put your hand on the wall and push the wall, okay? It's okay to lean a bit forward and stretch the back side. Let's go 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. For more stretch, spread out your legs apart. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Feel the stretch right here. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, next. It looks very similar, but it's a bit different. From here, bend your knee, shift the weight back, and put the weight down. You're gonna feel the stretch right here. Okay, so down. 1, 2, you're stretching the ankle. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now switch. 1, this is necessary to use the back hip. 3, 4, 5, 6, down, down, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, shake it off. Next part is very similar, or I think that's exactly the same to the psoas muscle chapter we worked on 2 months ago in the same video course. So I'd like you to spread your legs apart, knees down, flat foot right here, okay? Feet here, hips forward, and stretch the front side of your thigh right here. So get your hip down, breathe out. Hold for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and slowly come up. Hey, switch the leg, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's add a twist. From here, you are going to do this. Okay, bend your knee, face the hips to the side, and you're going to feel the stretch not on the front side, but a little bit inwards. 1, hip down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly come up, switch other side. Let me do it this way. Side, 1, 2, right here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, last one. From here, you're gonna get your knees apart. Heels to come a little bit together, like a frog. Okay, elbow down, and get your hip close to the heel. Okay, you're gonna feel the stretch right here. This part being bent. I would say the further your elbow and your knees are away from each other, the harder the stretch is going to be. 1, 2, get the hip close to the heel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, slowly, let's stand up. Now that you've understood this concept with your head, let's activate this part and actually feel this front hip snapping out and making your technique stronger. See you in the next video. If you'd like to watch the next video, come sign up to the Hidden Karate Principles course of the Karate University from the link in the description. I'll see you guys there.